Welcome to the Release Show. I'm your host, Brittany Skynes. On today's show, we have a long-distance relationship story that has a very happy ending. Adam and Anastasia have a beautiful love story to share. They play Words with Friends as one of their pastimes. Then one day, they simultaneously decided to click a button which changed their lives forever, called Random Opponent. Let's welcome Anastasia and Adam.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
How are you doing?
We're good. We're doing really well.
Thank you for that intro. That intro was I got chills when you said we pressed the button and changed our lives forever, which is exactly what happened.
So sweet. You're welcome. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Every love story is beautiful. Please tell us about yours.
Sweetheart, you want to get started?
Okay, I'll start it off. So we met 9 years ago.
2011?
Yes, 2011. The end of 2011. Just like the last 3 months or something. Playing Words with Friends. So I still lived in Trinidad at the time, Trinidad and Tobago to be exact. And all my friends didn't want to keep playing me because I kept beating them. So I was bored and I wanted more opponents. So I just pressed select random opponent. And the game connected Adam and I. And he said that, well, when we spoke finally, that he did the same thing. He was looking for more games because he was bored and he had recently moved to Virginia. And so the game actually just pulled us together. So we played each other for a while, not knowing who we were, what we looked like, because back then it would just have like a game name.
The game name, yes. So
it'd be like X5678, something like that.
Just a random game name, yep.
And he was the only person that would beat me over and over and over. And I'm so competitive, and it would drive me crazy. And I'm like, this person is cheating. I hate it. Why am I losing? It was driving me nuts. And I would keep like, play again. I was like, I have to beat this person. Even if it's just once, I have to win.
A lot of times when you play Words with Friends and you beat that opponent, they don't want to play you again. They don't. So I kept having this person, wanting to play me again. I'm like, this is great, and I'm in Virginia, working in Virginia by myself. I was a little bit bored, so I just recently moved for work purposes. So I didn't know anyone down there. I had no friends. I had no family. So Words with Friends was what I did at night. And and then Anna kept not knowing it was Anna, kept hitting play again. So after a while, there's a little chat box up in the upper right-hand corner. And I decided to say something. And I said, hey, can I get some competition here? I'm beating you on every game. And she fired back. She fired back at me. So
I was already pissed. And I'm like, he's cheating. But I didn't know if it was him or her. But I'm like, this person is cheating. And they're giving me chats. Like, what the hell? I don't remember exactly what I told him, but I remember I told him back something. He's like, hey, I'm sorry. My name's Adam. What's your name? And that's
kind of how it started.
Anastasia. He's like, okay, where you're from? He said he was from Virginia. I told him I was from Trinidad.
She didn't believe me that I was from the States. She thought there was no way that Words with Friends would connect us internationally. So
So I was like, you're from it? He's like, no. I'm like, you are. I was like, why are you lying to me? It's not necessary. And then he was like, okay, look me up on Facebook, and then you see I'm not lying to you. Then I looked him up on Facebook, and then we became Facebook friends. And I think sometime after that, we exchanged numbers, and we had our first call. It was like over an hour, but it was like a very friendly, casual conversation, just getting to know each other. Just asking things about like Trinidad, and I was asking about Virginia. Just very warm, but very.
I think
it felt very like we clicked. Just for a conversation to be on your phone over an hour without it being awkward. It was different.
I mean, after we played Words with Friends for a while, and then I saw this beautiful woman on Facebook. The Words with Friends kind of lessened, and talking started to increase. So. And like she said, we just had a very nice, comfortable, warm conversation. Very normal. There was no innuendos. There was nothing, and we really just enjoyed each other's, time on the phone. And it kind of grew from there. So.
Well, it didn't happen overnight like that. It kind of took us, but obviously because we didn't finally meet until 2016. So 5 years later,
It was
after
5 years in between.
Oh,
after
wow.
over the game, we finally met in person 5 years later. So we kind of like
Wow.
maintained a long distance friendship for a while that eventually evolved into a long distance relationship, and then we met in 2016.
Yes.
Nice. The law of attraction is always working no matter what. What attracted you to each other?
Well, definitely, obviously, the outer beauty for me is second to none. I met the girl of my dreams, but it's just the ability to. I don't know. I just felt, like I said earlier, that comfortable. And we still have that today. Like we were working around the house together, and the conversations that we have just throughout the house and how we're going to do things and how we come about our decision making together. I think we really communicate really well, and just something special about it for me. There's just something very different about it, and her inner beauty is just, upon her. It's just not just her. It was her family. It was her friends. And, you always can, somebody can put on a good front, but then when you start to meet their family and friends, you get an idea of what kind of person you have in front of you. And, after meeting her family and friends, I knew I had a good one here. So.
Oh, how sweet. So you mentioned that you guys stopped talking for a while. Who made the first move towards reigniting the relationship?
It was me.
Sorry, I'm so proud of that. I always, as soon as you said it, I couldn't wait to point to her. And she knows it too. And she'll never let me live that one down because she knows that's the truth. So, yes, that was in August of 2015 on Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
Yes. So, I guess over the course of time, we lost each other's numbers, whatever. We had, so the reality of it was that I had like a lot of relationships that I was not content with. I wasn't happy with. It wasn't what I wanted in my ideal significant other, someone that I wanted to build a future with. And I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like I kept making the wrong choices. So one night, I literally remember, I was like praying. I was like saying, Lord, I need to stop. Like, I need to let you decide. I need to let you send me what you think I deserve, what's best for me and what's good for me, instead of me asking for what I want, because clearly what I want isn't what is good for me or what I need. And I was like, just give me a sign of something, anything. And it was either that night or the next night, I dreamt him. He wasn't on my mind. I hadn't spoken to him in like almost a year.
Yeah, we haven't spoken for a while at this point. So.
And I dreamt I met him. And I was like, why out of nowhere, all of a sudden I would have that dream? Like, what is the coincidence? So I said, okay, I'm gonna muscle up the courage, and I'm gonna be the forward one, because I've never had to be forward. Like, guys, it's for me. So it was something new for me, and I reached out to him, and that's how we're here today now.
That is so beautiful. As a long distance couple with an amazing story, what medium of communication is best for those who are considering a long distance relationship?
So the core for us was WhatsApp.
And we still text each other today on WhatsApp. It's amazing.
Even though we live together,
it was WhatsApp. It's WhatsApp.
We're on the same network now and everything, and we can call and text each other like regularly. We still do WhatsApp.
Once in a blue moon, I mean, maybe once or twice a year, there'll be a text message on regular text messaging. It just doesn't feel the same. It's just not the same. Because our love story, like when we went back from August of 2015 till we met in January of 2016, so that was roughly 6 months, it was WhatsApp. And it was WhatsApp over video calls on WhatsApp. So I think there's an emotional tie for us to WhatsApp. But that was our medium of choice.
Yeah. And we had FaceTime too. So like occasionally we would FaceTime each other as well. But yeah, the core of it was WhatsApp. That's what kept us.
So tell me about the moment when you first met each other.
Oh, God. I was so nervous. I was just so nervous.
So, go ahead.
Well, okay. So I'll cut cut it down a little bit. So I was then moved back to New Jersey.
Okay.
She flew into New York. So there was a direct flight from Trinidad into JFK in New York. And she had a friend up there from Trinidad. So she had a place to stay. Okay. Just in case I didn't turn out to be the guy that I proclaimed to be after thousands of hours of video calls and phone calls. So she had a safe haven just in case. So I drove to go pick her up for her to come back, bring her back to New Jersey to.
Well, he drove to meet me, and then for me to decide whether or not.
Yes, I went to meet her, and then she was going to decide whether she was going to come back with me or not.
So our first meeting, he promised that when he saw me, he'd give me a big kiss.
I said, I'm going to plant one on you when I see you. I can't take it. 5 months of this FaceTiming crap. I'm going to plant one on you when I see you. So I was so nervous to drive up there. It's about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive. I was so nervous that I decided to call her on my way to New York. So once I called her, I said, hey, I'm nervous. And I think we're very honest with each other. She's like, I'm nervous too. And I think the phone call kind of brought us back to our roots and kind of calmed us down. So I was on the phone the entire time until I got out of my car, knocked on the door. I stayed on the phone with her the entire time until she actually came out and I got to see her in person for the very first time.
So then I came out and I'm expecting him to like grab me in his arms and just lay this kiss on me. And then I come out, I walk up to him and he's like, his entire face gets flushed.
Like it is now. I'm nervous just talking about it. Remembering it, I'm nervous.
And I'm like, hey, I thought you said you were going to kiss on me.
Get nervous all over again. So I chickened out. So
I gave him a kiss. I was like, it's okay. I'll give you a kiss.
Now, what was nice is it was her suggestion to give us, it was past Christmas, but we were going to exchange Christmas gifts.
Yes.
So we had a nice little Christmas gift exchange in the lobby of this apartment building. In the lobby. I never went into the apartment. And then she finally said to me, she's like, hey, what about this kiss that I've been hearing about? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like... And she grabbed me and she planted one on me. So that's how it happened.
And then our first date, which was right after, we went out for dinner and my friend chaperoned.
To make sure I was okay, yes.
Right. They had to protect her, you know.
Texting and picturing her mother back in Trinidad the whole time. So.
Yeah, my friend sent pictures.
Like taking pictures while we're at dinner, like pictures and then sending. You know, one at a time. So, yeah.
Oh man. So, how long did you stay in New Jersey when you went there, Anastasia?
2 weeks. I stayed for 2 weeks.
So then you went back home, and what happened after that?
So I went back home, and then we maintained communication. I think like 6 weeks after that, about a month and a half, I came back in March. So that would have been January. Then I came back in March for 2 weeks. And then I left again, and then I came back the end of May.
Yes.
And then I came back the end of May.
Yep.
Okay.
And I stayed for 5 months. Yes. So at that point, it came down to me deciding whether or not I was going to stay or go back. And then if I stayed, I basically had to give up my job. I gave up my apartment.
Your car?
Well, no, I kept my car. I still have my car.
You still had your car.
I sold my car.
You sold your car later.
Yeah. But yeah, basically I gave up my job at my apartment. My mom went and like cleaned up my apartment and took all my stuff and put it into storage. Everyone said I was crazy because I had a great job and I had a well-paying permanent job. And all my friends said I was crazy. Everyone was like, "What is going on with you? What are you doing?" It was crazy.
It was a fun time, though. I mean,
it was fun.
I wanted to look back on it. It was a really fun time. It was a lot. It was exciting. It was a lot going on, and yeah, it was fun.
So then I went back to Trinidad October, and then he came, and he stayed about 2 weeks. He met my friends and my family, my mom, my aunts, my grandma, my sisters, my cousins. It was like a whole big thing. Everyone they were like,
deal.
Who's this guy that made my daughter that's very focused and level-headed to this craziness? So then he went back to the States, and in October, the end of October. And then in December, like 2 days before Christmas, I flew back up and I spent Christmas with him and his family. I stayed for 6 months. And then at the end of my 6 months, we got married. He decided he didn't want me to go back and he wanted me to stay. And he proposed and we got married.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the short version, Brittany.
I see. We went
That's the
straight
short
to the
version.
end, right?
Yeah. It was crazy.
All right, so let's get into those spicy little details about your proposal.
I don't know how spicy the proposal was.
So I wouldn't say it was spicy. I would say it was crazy. So I know for a fact, so like he was trying to be all traditional and do the right thing. So like he called my mom
I called her mother.
to ask for her blessing, for us to get married.
And she shot me down.
And my mom said no. She's like,
She shot me down. I was so pissed. I still talk about it to her with her mother to this day.
and I think what threw him off was the fact that they actually have a really good relationship. Like him and my mom, they talk all the time, and they have like a really good relationship. I think like to this day, he's the closest that anyone that I've ever brought home. He was the only one she ever liked. The only one that she got this close with. Like she would call him, he would call her, and they would be talking. I'd be like, "Who are you talking to? Your mom?" I'm like, "Why are you talking to my mom? Why? It's my mom. What's going on?" And so I think that really threw him off. But it wasn't that she didn't want us to get married. She just felt like it came suddenly. She felt like she didn't want us to rush into anything, and she didn't want us to have any regrets. And so that was her main focus or concern for both of us, that we didn't feel pressured into getting married.
I think a little bit too. I think she felt like she didn't have control of you and or the situation, because I was living here. They still lived in Trinidad, still live in Trinidad. And I felt like she wants to be more of a part of it. She's a very active mother. And she felt like I felt like maybe she was missing out on a little bit. And that's why she wanted us to take that step back for the moment and not give me her blessing. So at that particular time, because she knew as soon as she gave me her blessing, I was ready to propose like the next day.
So
which essentially is almost what I did anyway. So
then this is what happened. So then Adam he was like down.
I was very down. I was very upset.
So then I basically I'm like packing my bags to book my plane ride to go back home, because basically my time's up because I'm on a visitor's visa. And then he speaks with his mom, and his mom's like,
my mother intervened.
She's like, "Can you see yourself like living without her?" And he was like, "No." She's like, "Well, we need to figure this out. Let me speak to Anastasia's mother." So then she calls me and she's like, "You need to have your mother call me. We need to talk about this because my son wants to marry you and he's not going to take no for an answer." But then I'm like, wait, let's figure this out. So then I call my grandmother, because she's like, she is the matriarch of our family. And usually when she says something is what goes. So I called my grandmother and I was like, "Hey, Granny, like, did Mommy tell you that Adam asked for her blessing to marry me?" And I think Granny said no. Yeah. I was like, "Well, he did." And she was like, "What? And your mother didn't tell me?" So then I spoke to her and I explained everything. And by the end of the conversation, she said, "You have my blessing."
Oh.
So then, because actually I got my grandmother's blessing from even before, when I came the first time to meet Adam, everybody else said I shouldn't go. My mother knows. My mother said, "No, why are you getting on a plane to meet a stranger? Like, there's crazy people out there." And my grandmother, she said, "I see something in your future with this person. Go."
So everybody said, "No, you're crazy. What are you doing?" Which I don't blame her. I wouldn't let my daughter do what she did. So,
but my grandmother
said yes.
And then when it came to us getting married, she gave us her blessing. And then my mother said, if your grandmother says yes, then it's yes. So then that's how we got here. Oh,
great.
So I did not have there wasn't anything, Brittany, there wasn't anything spicy with the engagement, but I did get on one knee.
Yes.
And I did,
So he kind of did surprise me. I did see my ring. because I wanted to approve of it. I wanted to approve. So I did see it.
Oh, goodness.
I was preparing dinner, and he came into the kitchen, and he kneeled down, and like my back was turned, and then I turned around, and I was actually legitimately surprised, and I was like,
Wow.
"Remember proposing?" And he's like, "Yes, let me say my thing. Let me say my thing."
Let me have my moment. Let me, I have stuff in my head. Let me get it out.
Yeah.
So,
And he gave his sweet speech, and then he officially like put the ring on and everything. So it was very sweet. It was very sweet. It was like just us, but it was very sweet.
That's so sweet. So tell me about your wedding.
oh,
So our wedding, to be honest, I don't think if you want to call it like we eloped. We had like a hotel / courthouse wedding, if you want to call it like that, because the plan was, or still is, for us to have our big wedding in Trinidad.
so we didn't have a traditional wedding where, although she did have a beautiful dress on, she looked absolutely beautiful. My parents were there.
So we had like maybe like 10 people?
Yes, we had a very, very small amount of people there. And she did have the opportunity to dress and have flowers and have a nice little entryway. But essentially, I mean, you could have said that we eloped you could say that we eloped at the same time. I owe her family a big, big wedding in Trinidad. So that's where, we're going to have a bigger wedding that be more traditional to what, to what she would want.
But it was still very special because we did it at the penthouse suite at Wyndham in Atlantic City, and we were overlooking the skyline. So it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful location where we got married, for sure.
That's beautiful. So do you guys have a date for the wedding?
So
that's a good question.
Initially,
we did initially.
Yeah. So initially, it would have been probably this year.
Yeah.
It would have been actually summer.
I've had some friends of mine asking me, like, what's going on? When are we going to Trinidad? Everyone's ready to take plane trips to Trinidad.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit, so
it would have been summer of this year.
Yeah.
So for now, I'm just thinking to wait till our 5-year anniversary.
We're gonna do a 5-year
and make it like something special for our 5th year and like
Yes.
our renewal.
Yeah.
Since everything just got thrown off. So we recently celebrated our 3rd year of marriage. So we just have like 2 more years to go.
Enough time to plan properly.
And for COVID to settle and everything to get sorted out as well.
Yeah.
So that's all.
That's a great idea. That's what I want to do. My 5th year anniversary will be next year. And I want to plan something like super special like that and have us renew our vows and everything too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I know you guys are an interracial couple. Have you had any challenges with that?
Yes. There's nothing that's going to derail us, but I don't want to say challenges.
Well,
there's more like incidents than challenges.
But what do you mean exactly by challenges? Is it challenges between us or challenges from the outside
world?
What do you mean exactly?
Like both. Like, have you had any challenges with each other or any issues like outside, people saying any negative comments or anything like that about you guys?
So for us, I would say like between us internally, the biggest challenge I would say we've had is whereby culturally, like I would use certain words or terminologies that mean certain things, or they mean different things for us. And then when I say it for him, he interprets it a different way.
But it's more cultural for being from a different country rather than
yes,
interracial.
That's what I said. Yes. So it's more of a cultural difference. More than anything else, and it hasn't even been like big issues. It'd be like small things.
We have more fun with it.
And then eventually laughing at it, and then he like mocks me and says it back. Like, I say it, and I'm like, "That's not funny. I don't sound like that." But that would be our biggest challenge. I would say we dealt with being an interracial couple. Externally, however, social media has
some social media stuff on our Instagram. We've gotten some
on our YouTube as well.
Not some nice comments at times.
So like we'll have like 100 beautiful comments, and then there'll be that one.
There'll be 100 to 1. That's right.
Yeah.
But the one kind of
stings.
The one that stings a little bit, and a lot of times, She doesn't tell me. Sometimes she doesn't. She hides it from me, and which I wish she wouldn't do. But at the same time, she does hide it from me, and sometimes she lets me know. I do want to know when it does happen, just so I can be prepared for anything. But at the same time, it's just it's 1 in 100, and I think there was what we tend to do is when we get that negative one, we tend to read through the positive ones to remind us how much support that we have for our relationship from strangers, and and how good that makes us feel. So
yeah.
Do you ever feel the need to respond back to that negative comment?
So initially I didn't used to, and then there was like 1 or 2 recent comments that they made that upset me, and I did comment. I probably was like twice, and then I said to myself, why am I letting them get to me? Why am I letting them get a reaction out of me? They're not worth it. And then I just stopped.
Well, I guess it does. It does, Brittany. It hurts sometimes, and at the same time, they're on our social media and they have the freedom to speak their opinion, as we all do. We all have the freedom to speak your opinion. At the same time, if you have the freedom to speak your opinion, then we have the freedom to live our lives the way we want to. So that freedom is shared. So you can't expect to have freedom and then not have freedom be given as well. So if you disagree with our relationship, that's fine.
Right.
You have every reason to, but then to get onto our social media to talk about it, and we're allowing you that freedom to do it by having an open forum on our social media, also allows us to have the freedom to have our relationship and live the lives that we want to for ourselves. So,
well, you guys are a beautiful couple to me, so that's
thank you.
So what are your future plans?
Well, we are working on our house a little bit. We started with when COVID hit, we kind of started doing some painting and buying some furniture and trying to fix the house up a bit. And
we recently purchased.
Recently purchased a home. And
congrats!
Thank you. Yes, and then we definitely want to have children. So that's definitely I think there's like a lot of people waiting for us to have a child. So friends and family and quite a bit. So that would be next for us.
Yeah, so we'll obviously be growing our family. We also have some business ideas that we want to get our roots in and play around with and grow and explore and travel whenever we're comfortable and safe again to travel the world. And I guess that's basically it. In a nutshell, we found everything else that we want, and now it's just to really enjoy. Just enjoy life.
Yay! That's right. Enjoy life. So I have this fun game I want you guys to play. It's him versus her. So are you ready?
Yeah.
So who made the first move?
Very first move? Which move do you want to count?
Physically?
Physically?
Yeah, no, who made the first move, like with your relationship? Like who?
Well, I guess if you want to say that actually got us to where we are now, it would be me.
It would be her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Who takes the longest to get ready?
I love these. Keep going.
Who is the best cook?
No doubt.
Who is the best dancer?
I would give it to him. I'll give it to him.
I'm okay. I can hold my own.
Who is the best gamer?
Gamer in what way? Like what kind of game? Board games or like video games?
I'll say board games.
It's a tough one.
All right. Can I tell you something?
It's me.
We have not played games in forever because when we play games now, it's so intense.
Oh, really?
Okay? We play Uno, or we'll play card games. We'll play gin rummy. We'll play. It's just too intense. We haven't played a game in months.
I'm the winner.
I don't know about that, but it's okay. I'll give that. Yes, you can see.
Both of you seem competitive.
Yes.
Very competitive.
Who is the most romantic?
Oh. Would you give me more? Me?
She had a birthday recently, and I had a beautiful birthday for her.
Yes.
A beautiful birthday, and it wasn't like a landmark birthday. It wasn't like 30 or 40 it was just a regular birthday, but I had some nice surprise. I surprised her for 3 days in a row. She had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
I kidnapped her away on a trip, and every single day I had very exciting outdoor activities to do every single day, and she did not know what those were until the day of. Like, what are we doing today? I said, let's go. We're gonna find out. So and then I did surprise, and then of course I gave her some gifts, which she didn't expect. And I did a very nice. Isn't that romantic?
Yes, it is.
All right.
It is romantic.
Overall, though, here's the thing. I have romantic moments, but she is more romantic.
Yes, that's what I agree with that.
Okay. Who is the biggest spender?
It might be me. That's me.
I was expecting Anastasia.
Nah, that's me.
Everyone thinks it's gonna be me, but it's actually him.
It's me.
Who is the best driver?
I would say him, because he's really great at parallel parking and stuff like that. But like in crazy Caribbean driving,
we're on the opposite side of the road, and some roads don't have edges to them. It's her. It's definitely her. I was impressed by her driving in Trinidad. I was really impressed by it.
So who's the messiest?
He's gonna say me. Because of my makeup and my hair stuff, he's gonna say me. So I'm gonna take it.
Okay. Who paid for the first date?
I did.
Okay. Well, that ends the game. How did you like it?
I love it. I want more. I love the questions.
Oh, thank you, guys. Is there anything else? Say it again.
I said it was fun.
Oh, thank you. Is there anything else you would like to share?
Well, if you don't mind, we'd like to do a plug. Guys, if you would like to follow us, continue following us along our journey. Check us out on Instagram and YouTube. It's _original Coco Caviar.
_original Coco Caviar. Right.
Yes.
Yes. Please follow them and their beautiful love story and their life and all that they're doing, and hope to have babies soon.
Yes. Ma'am.
Your love story is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show. Have a great day.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Take care, Brady.
See you guys later. Bye.